spoke with a young man today, and during our conversation, he asked me, "What do you think about ADHD?" And y'all, I've been asked this question so many times that, when I used to get asked this question, I would say something like equivocal. I'd say something that, tried to make sure that I didn't offend anyone or any groups or any parents or anything. And now that I've reached a point where I have enough resources to not care anymore, when they asked me what I thought of ADHD, the first thing I asked was, were you spanked as a child? And because they were black, they said, of course. Yes, of course. What kind of question was that? As if domestic violence against children is somehow a rite of passage in our community. And so I said, if you were spanked as a child, you might have ADHD. You might have a syndrome resulting from the fact that you were physically assaulted in your youth when you made mistakes. Spanking is abuse. I can't believe people don't realize that. There's so many other explanations for the problems people have in their life other than mental illness. And no one's looking at them. The rates of child suicide have skyrocketed since we've started this pandemic. Oh, the pandemic has been hard. The stress of the pandemic. We live in a country full of child abusers. Of course they want to exit this reality. Of course. Spanking is abuse. I don't care what your pastor said. I don't care what your mama said. I don't care what your daddy said. I don't care. They don't have the credentials, education, nor the empathy to begin to even understand. I don't care. I am done suffering fools. Anyone who believes that physically assaulting a child is a valid form of parenting must be mentally ill themselves. They have to be. They have to be. There's no other explanation for how someone can say, if I hit an adult, that's assault. If I hit an animal, that is animal cruelty. And if I hit a child, I'm somehow doing something that's going to be good for their growth and development in the future. I don't know why I'm so anxious all the time. It's because you were hit as a child. You have a fear-based attachment to reality because in your reality, for the formative years of your life, every single mistake you made was met with a punishment that was nowhere near what a natural consequence should be. Because a lot of these parents who spank their kids are in denial. They are in denial about what it means to be a parent. They're in denial about their ability to parent. They're in denial about so many things. And to admit that they have been willfully and just bullishly doing harm to their children? Why am I so depressed? Because you were spanked as a child for making small mistakes. And now, no matter what you do, it feels like it's not enough. This is insane to me. And I know I'm not a big, super, hella famous person. I know that. I'm well aware of that I am not a super big. I get that. But I have to sit here and watch celebrities co-sign on this mess. Barack Obama at a NAACP meeting said that sometimes you got to hit kids when Michelle talks about how they don't do it. It didn't work. We tried it and it didn't work. And you still have people out here, college-educated idiots, hitting their children. I'm supposed to be patient. Derrick, there's no dialogue. Why don't you have a dialogue with them? You should have a dialogue with them. You can't just be making them feel fear and shame. You should be ashamed. Shame is a valid feeling. I don't care what Brene Brown says. There's some things you need to be ashamed of. And you should be ashamed of hitting a child. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay in shame. But shame is what it's going to take to get your attention. So many adults walking around here broken, fundamentally living in this reality in a broken way. So afraid to do anything. Afraid to take even the slightest risk. Got beat so hard for lying that they don't know how to lie in situations when they should. Do you have a boyfriend? Yes. Is he here? Yes. Right around the corner. This is the root cause. of so many problems. And then you have these walking trauma responses. These walking just, I turned out fine. Lying, just lying. So deep in denial. I am so tired. I am so tired of having to meet people who are questioning themselves when they should be questioning the environment that they came from. Spanking is abuse. There is no word to describe what you were doing that is not a synonym for hit. Oh, I popped them. You hit them. And if you take that same behavior and put it in any other context except for fighting in an MMA ring or boxing, it's wrong. And there are college-educated niggas. I don't care what they're gonna do. Take my license away because I said niggas. College-educated niggas. If you ain't part of this community, you should have turned around. College-educated niggas with master's degrees, not vaccinated, and also hitting their kids. It's simple. It's simple. It is simple. What's wrong with me? Why am I the way that I am? Why do I do the things that I do? Spanking is abuse. I mean, I will say it over and that's the problem with these spanking parents, the issue is that they did not want kids in the first place, and they don't know how to say anything about it. The world doesn't let people be wrong, and that's the thing that's crazy. That's the one thing. If a spanking parent who has seen my content came to me and said, Derrick, I honestly just didn't want children. Thank you. That's the first step. Now we can talk about how you stop hitting your kids. They always say, you don't give no solutions. You just point out the problem. The solution is to fundamentally alter the way that you see yourself, your child, and your place in the universe. You have to see your child as someone who is not deserving of physical punishment. I would never come to you if you talk to me like that. I hope you don't talk to your clients like... I don't. Because my clients come to me ready to make a change. And the easiest way to help someone make this change is to show them how absurd it is. If you had a child who, when they got really mad, they got really angry, they got really frustrated, they got tired of repeating what they wanted over and over and over again, if you had a child who was doing that, and then when that child got mad, they hit someone else, would you go hit that child to teach them not to hit? Some of these niggas actually would. Oh, we're doing one take today. Even though I'm gonna have to say this over and over and over again, we're doing one take today. This is a public health crisis. Y'all know all them black folks. You know all the times in your family where you had them stories about people pulling knives on folks or kids running out of house with knives. You know how the majority of child abuse cases get started. The majority of the time, it's a parent trying to discipline their children. Spanking is abuse. I turned out fine. Do you hit yourself when you laugh? When you're laughing at something really funny, when you're really enjoying something, when you're watching a Key and Peele sketch, when you are really, really laughing, when you're listening to Ricky Smiley's stupid ass. I mean, not in, oh, stupid, that's ableist language. I gotta do better about that. Don't use language like that. Stupid is ableist language. It perpetuates a system. It perpetuates a way of talking that is disrespectful to people with disabilities. And I know I have able-bodied privilege, so I am sorry to the disability community for using that word stupid. What is a good way to describe Ricky Smiley? Because Ricky Smiley is one of the biggest perpetuators of intergenerational trauma within the black community. Every day, Ricky Smiley gets up and goes to work and continues the abuse and trauma that we all experience as black people by making fun of it and laughing at it. And how many kids get gaslit on their way to school listening to Ricky Smiley? Ricky Smiley says that he unrepentantly, he makes no apologies for beating his kid's ass. He's an old school parent. That old school trauma, Ricky Smiley. What is a good word to describe the type of, it's almost like the word doesn't exist for how illogical, like it's like you're so ignorant that you can't even conceptualize how ignorant you are. Like you would hear me calling you ignorant and just get mad that I'm saying it and not even be able to know why. Like lack the cognitive ability to be able to understand why you should be mad Ricky Smiley is that ignorant. Spanking is abuse. And I will say it over and over and over again. And I will call out every single celebrity. Spanking it's in the community. Like, it's like we think it's all right. Schizophrenia. Oh, he's just having good. I would be schizophrenic too if I went to church all the time listening to folks talking about angels and demons and jumping around being stupid. Then hear people talking about God's love, and then my mom goes home and beats on me. I'd be schizophrenic too. Not allowed to talk about this stuff. Spanking is abuse. You are abusing your children. You are a child abuser right up there with child molesters. Spanking is abuse. I'm not playing. I don't care about hurting your feelings. Somebody need to hurt your feelings. Y'all get up there on your church sermons every day. Pastor gets up there, maybe every day for some people. I know once a week, pastor gets up there and just gaslights every child in that audience. Because all these parents do, they don't have no power nowhere else. Nowhere else in their life. They're bullies. Spanking is abuse. Why you can't say it nicer? You get more bees with honey. Do y'all bring that same energy whenever men be hitting on their wives when they married? Y'all bring that same energy then? We need some bees and honey then? Y'all bring that same energy when wives be beating on their husbands? Y'all bring that same energy when people be beating on people? Nah. But here we gotta say stuff nice so that it don't hurt the parents' feelings, because we don't want to say nothing that's gonna make them feel fear and shame and disrespected. What we need to start doing though, y'all, is treating them the way that they need to treat their children. We just gotta be patient with them. That's why I'm getting this out my system, because after this, I'm gonna be patient with them. I'm gonna talk to them like they are a child. Why are you so condescending? You be acting like you so superior. Well, I mean, one of us believes that it's okay to engage in routine domestic violence against children. I think we can stop there. But Derrick, what about the parents that are trying, the ones that feel so bad and they just don't know what to do differently? What about them? Why don't you think about the people where they go, I only spank my child maybe once or twice a month. It's okay. I mean, it's a good week up until that point. Google is a free resource. And those same parents will tell you that you can't tell them how to raise their kids. However, I am willing to concede that there might be some people who are spanking their children because they legitimately don't know what else to do. I believe that. I truly believe that. I believe that there are parents who are spanking their kids because they legitimately don't know what else to do. The question is, do you want to know something else to do? Are you ready to make that change? People rededicating themselves to Christ over and over and over again, not even understanding what they're doing and what that even means. So if you are someone who truly wants to stop spanking your children, then me talking to you as if you are a child should not upset you. You shouldn't feel bad about it. You shouldn't feel, in fact, you should be wanting me to say it to you however I need to say it so that you get it. So you are someone who is offended by this speech, because I hope you play it at family reunions. Play it at family reunions, play it at funerals, send it to your parent whenever you decide to never speak to them. Oh, I'm gonna talk on that. You ain't gotta speak to, oh, I'm gonna talk on that. Send it to your parent when you are done. When you don't ever want to speak to them again and you are cutting them off. And why? Why are you cutting me off? Why? After all the sacrifices I made for you. I wasn't here to be for your sacrifice. You just so ungrateful. Why? Because spanking is abuse. And if a parent is spanking their child, then there's other stuff they're doing too. Emotional manipulation. Y'all know how parents, when they used to spank you, then they go out and buy you a bunch of stuff and then get mad at you because you have a bunch of stuff? Just foolishness. Foolishness. So I made this video for anyone, any black person that needs that validation. My name is Derrick. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and spanking is abuse. My opinions don't represent my licensing board or all that other disclaimery shit. They ain't saying it. I am. Spanking is abuse. You are abusing your children when you hit them. They are the only people in life that you are allowed to hit. At least in America, because in other countries they done outlawed this. People talking about, I want to move back to Africa. All right, go on over there and hit your kids. Go on over to other countries and hit your kids and see what happened. Hell, hit your kids in front of me. See, that's the problem, because I just want to hit folks. I would just make a very strong phone call. Spanking is abuse. Spanking is abuse. Spanking is abuse. And I'll say it 7, 8, 9, 10, a million times. In fact, welcome to day 1 of me saying spanking is abuse for the rest of ever. I'm tired of having this conversation, but that's okay, because I enjoy having the conversation with people who didn't know it and needed to hear it. Spanking is abuse. Spanking is abuse. If you're hitting your kids, you are abusing them. Play it at school. Copy parts of it and put it on a song. Hell, I'll make a song. That's next. Somebody find me a fire beat. You think I'm lying? Somebody in the comment section find the first person to send me a beat that is fire. I will write the rap song Spanking is Abuse. Absolutely, I will. Absolutely, you think I'm lying. Why you think I got all of... You see that? Spanking is abuse. Play it everywhere. Play it in they sleep. Play it on repeat. Spanking is abuse. You're abusing your kids. How do I stop? You ain't asking me with the right energy. Because if you want to stop spanking your kids and you really mean it and you understand what it is, you should be on your knees in tears crying. You really should. You really should. You really should. You should be you should be wrenching your clothes from your body when you realize what it is you're doing. I know that's how I felt when I realized I was yelling at people on TikTok. It sounds like you're yelling now. I'm speaking with passion, and it's not at a particular person. It is at an idea. The idea that people can hit their kids and it's okay. You got people married to folks. You got husbands and wives where the wife is telling the husband to go hit the kids, and that coward is going in there and doing it. Coward. This is killing our children. We got to heal intergenerational trauma. We sure do. It was so absurd to me to watch people in the streets crying because of police brutality when I know what they do to their children when they're at home. Police brutality ain't got nothing on a black person, a black parent convinced that you did something and disrespected them in some way. Police brutality can't touch that. Spanking is abuse. Comedians. We have comedians out here. Idiots. Nope, that word ableist. I need a better. What is a word to describe the behavior of these people? It's incomprehensible. There's not a word that's strong enough. Abuse. I need something stronger than abuse. I need a word. I don't know a word stronger than abuse. Spanking is abuse. I don't know how to make it. I don't know. Anybody got any ideas? Because I'm gonna have to say this a lot. It messes with so much. People who were spanked as kids can't even learn right. I love video games. Until I came to terms with the fact that spanking was abuse, I was playing video games wrong because I was afraid to explore because of the consequences. Every time I played video games, I was looking for the right way to go. How do I get from point A to point B? How you gonna have 300 hours, 500 hours in Skyrim, and I played that game in a straight damn line? Because I was afraid to test out my environment, because when I was younger and I tested out my environment, I got the shit beat out of me. It ruined so many things. A black person could have came up with Amazon, could have came up with Uber, could have came up with all of these things, but you know why? Because we don't come up with those things. You want to know why? Because who wants to test stuff like that? When have we been in an environment where we've allowed our imagination to go big enough? A black person could be famous for spray painting things on the wall and vandalism and have white folks celebrate it. White folks do it and it's beautiful art. Black folks do it and it's vandalism. And then you got parents that'll beat your ass for that. I saw a kid spray painted something beautiful all over this person's couch, and they beat the kid's ass for it. And you just destroyed the light in that child to be an artist. Spanking is abuse. You gotta have a dialogue. You gotta talk to people. You can't just come mad at them. In order for me to do that, the type of person that I would have to be patient with that. Because that's what it is. That's what's so frustrating about all of this. Is patience is the answer. And I have to be patient. I can't be out here yelling at them, making them feel bad. I have to be patient. Even though they are literally justifying domestic violence and assault on youth and causing early puberty in their daughters and priming people for long-term chronic pain, chronic illness, chronic anxiety, OCD, even though they are killing the spirit of their children, even though they are replicating the exact same patterns that slave owners did back in slavery, even though they are teaching their children to not trust their bodies, even though they are priming their kids for a life of broken, unsuccessful, abusive relationships, even though they are driving their children to suicide. I'm supposed to be patient and just listen and just breathe and say, I know that you think using corporal punishment is beneficial for your child. In actuality, you're doing more harm than good. I was wondering if I could talk to you today about gentle parenting and how to get the results that you want without unwittingly inflicting trauma on your child. That's what they want. And I honestly don't feel like my social media presence, the stuff I'm getting from it, the money I've made is enough. I just don't. And so I'm gonna have to stop thinking about the money and start thinking about the kids, because if someone doesn't say it in a way that they can hear it, then it'll never happen. So I'm going to think of, from now on, after I've gotten this out of my system, I am going to just believe that there are people who are spanking their children and hate themselves for it. That's who I want to talk to. And since I'm talking to you, step one to stopping spanking your kids is to forgive yourself from doing so. You must forgive yourself for spanking your kids. You have to turn away from the behavior. It's just like accepting Jesus Christ into your life, except you actually have to be consistent with the changes that you're making. So if this message was played for you and you've been angry and you've been mad, or if this message was played for you and you've been sitting here listening to me talk all mad and angry, knowing that you need to hear it because you used to, that's what happened in church, and so you feel like you deserve it, I want to help you. I don't want you to hate yourself, and I want to tell you the things you need to do to stop hitting your children. And step one is to forgive yourself. I'll talk about step two when I'm even sure that there are parents out there. I don't even think those parents exist. I don't want to believe it. If one parent who hated the fact that they hit their kids and was upset about it, cried in the bed about it at night, felt very guilty, felt like a horrible person, hated themselves, if one parent shows up down in the comments, then I will help you. I will absolutely, I'll help you in my own way. You're going to watch a lot of videos that got video games in them. You're going to watch a lot of video game themed metaphors. You're going to watch me play video games as we talk about it. And I will help you. Just one person. I hope they exist. I hope that there is a demographic of parents that hate the fact that they spank their children and stay up at night hating themselves for it. I could help those people with a smile on my face and be as patient as possible. Because I know what it's like to hate yourself. Why do I keep making the same mistakes that cause me to get spanked? Why can't I just make my bed? Why can't I just remember? Why can't I just do the things I need to do? Why can't I? Why can't I? Do I have ADHD?